Gets you through my morning every day. Every morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adelaide's Jody and Hayesy on Nova.
When did you cave to a fashion trend? That's what we'll be talking about, because you are, at the moment, you remind me of one of those blokes when they fall in love, they fall hard. You know what I mean? We've all met a bloke like that, haven't we, producer Molly? Yes. They just fall in love so frequently, it's actually embarrassing.
Good on you, lads. For the lads in that category. I hear you, brother.
So you have fallen for a pair of shoes.
Yeah, big time.
Oh, man.
Now, who saw this relationship coming?
I didn't.
Very Romeo and Juliet, isn't it?
And when I first spotted you two together at a pub, the Line actually, in Melbourne Street, when we had a work lunch, and I saw it and I was doubled over in tears of laughter. Tears, I tell you, because you didn't just go the shoes, but you went the accessories as well. You went the gibbets.
Yep.
They're the jewels.
It's like the cherry on top of the cake.
What has happened to you? Because no one saw this relationship coming.
I didn't see this relationship coming. If you see them, you're like, what are you talking about? I am in love with my Crocs. I am so aggressively in love with my Crocs. And I would have sat here a year ago being like, I will aggressively judge anyone who wears Crocs, particularly men over a certain age. And that age is probably 5 or 6. I would like to wear my Crocs to work and to functions if I could.
You're not allowed to wear them to functions, and it's gotten so bad, your love affair with these Crocs, that whenever we have something serious that we have to do that involve clients at the station, I'm like, did you bring proper shoes?
You do say that.
Yeah.
I do have proper shoes in the back of my car.
Okay.
For such occasions. But I don't know where this came from. I can tell you right now, if you're sitting there and maybe you're, I don't know, early 30s, mid-30s, maybe you're late 30s, like some of us, and you're thinking, do I give them a go? Just go for it. See what happens. To describe what's happening to my feet right now is...
Oh, no.
There is so much love-making happening. And it's beautiful. It's gorgeous love-making, and purely the Crocs are very much in control. They're driving it.
Right.
They are driving it. And my feet are just laying back being like, well, where was this 5 years ago?
Oh, really?
Why were we denied such passion?
Are they that good? Because from an outsider who's not a Croc converter, it feels like if you wear Crocs, you've given up on yourself and you've given up on society.
Yeah, okay.
That's what it feels like from the outside.
Fair.
I'm open to be corrected here.
Fair.
But you do hear it with absolute ad nauseum, people saying, oh my God, they're the most comfortable thing I've ever worn.
100%. 13, 24, 10, when did you cave? Maybe it's not just for Crocs. Maybe it's for other fashion items as well.
But
maybe it could be in for anything.
But also, if you feel like you can talk me around to the Crocs, then I'm all ears.
Oh my gosh, I'm driving the Croc train. Are you a man who's almost middle-aged, maybe in your 30s, and you have recently jumped on board the Croc train? Because I'm driving this train.
Because previous to this, you were in a relationship with Birkenstocks.
Yes.
A fairly intense relationship, a long-term relationship.
That was a messy breakup.
Did you have it? Was there a crossover? Did you have an affair with the Crocs while you were in love with the Birkenstock?
I think that's exactly what happened.
Really?
Do you know what's really concerning for my wife? Is that she was the one who convinced me to get some Crocs. She's like, I reckon you'll like them for wearing them around the house. They're very comfortable. Next minute, I'm wearing them absolutely everywhere, and she's banning me from wearing them while I pick up the kids from school because of the other parents.
Does she have a pair of Crocs?
She has a pair of Crocs, but she genuinely only wears them around the house.
Has the genuine human decency to keep them inside her four walls. That's my kind of woman.
Yeah, so her feet only get made love to while she's at home. That's not good enough. Right now, Jodes, I'm telling you, what's happening to my feet is just quite outrageous. My feet are on the receiving end. What if boy, oh boy, they're satisfied.
What if you and those shoes have little Croc babies with little gibbets?
Yes. And gibbets too, by the way. Look at my newest gibbet. See my newest gibbet?
Show me.
It's a Nova boy.
We're talking about the disintegration of society as we know it by people just wearing Crocs everywhere out of the house with socks as well. And I just mentioned when you fall hard for a trend, and you are head over heels for your Crocs at the moment. So much so it's very difficult to pry them off your feet.
You know, I went down the same path as well with Birkenstocks.
You did.
I
I
felt
know.
really hard, didn't I? Extremely hard.
God.
He thought there's no getting that out, and all of a sudden, Crocs are on the side saying, hello there, big fella.
But
and
also,
I went, ooh.
once you commit to these relationships, you hold on for a very long time. Like, you still wear rusty T-shirts.
I know. I love hard. You know me. I love hard. Okay? I really love it hard.
Probably you need to learn when to let go of a clothing
It's
relationship,
all or nothing for me.
isn't it?
It's all or nothing.
All right, let's go to Mariana. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, no. Am I reading this right? You
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've caved.
Yes. Well done, Marianne. And isn't it just gorgeous? I don't want to sound naughty when I say this, but the Crocs make love to your feet, don't they?
Oh, look, I hate to admit it, but yeah, they're pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what colour are we sporting? And do you also have the gibbets?
I haven't been able to cross over to the gibbets. I feel like that's the kids only thing for the moment, but I think I'm close. And bone.
Right,
Bone.
and bone. Okay.
I've got bone as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they just go with everything.
Spot on.
Mariana, the gibbets should be a kids-only thing, but talk people through exactly what you're sporting on your feet in terms of gibbets at the moment.
Well, let's take a little look, shall we? So, of course, I've got the Nova Boy, and that's the newest in Nova gibbets.
Yep.
I've got a little love heart. I've got a little rubby ducky. I've got an alien, a peace sign, and I believe that is Stan from South Park.
Wow.
Wow, what a beautiful collection of gibbets. Oh, thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Nice.
Okay, good morning, Simon.
Good morning, Jodie. How are you?
God, you've been converted as well. This is like a cult. This is like Scientology for your feet at the moment. You're wearing them as
isn't
well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm 47. Only been converted for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Wore into my Christmas function at a fancy winery.
No.
Yeah, it was nice with socks because you got to dress, to the occasion. Had all my Christmas gibbets in. It was beautiful.
Awesome.
Christmas gibbets, Simon.
Can I just...
Oh, you have to. It's like a rubber cloud for your foot. You have to try them out, Jodie.
That is a great way to describe it.
Hayesy is definitely on board there. He's on the right path,
If I know nothing else about Simon, I can gather enough information from that to say that Simon's the man. Okay. He is the man. Well done.
All right, well done to you, Simon, I think. Stacey, oh no. Can we stop? You're a Croc lover as well.
I am. I wear them everywhere. I've got them on my feet right now.
Of course you do.
Wow.
Of course you do, because you like it when your feet feel good.
Stacey, are
Yeah.
you wearing them to work?
Yes, I do wear them to work.
Where do you work, Stace?
Can you say you feel?
I work in childcare, so all of my gibbets are like child-related. I've got some Barbie, some Moana, Toy Story for the kids.
That is
Jealous?
cute,
I want some Moana gibbets.
That's your favourite movie of all time.
Oh, my gosh.
Why don't you organise a gibbet exchange with Stacey?
Maybe you can do that. I'm sure there's a market we can trade gibbets.
Oh, it has to be.
Who knows?
Thanks so much, Stace. One more. Angela, are you on the Croc train?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
Oh, there we go.
No. They are horrible. They look terrible, and no one over the age of 13 should be wearing them.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'll take that on board, Ange.
Do you have an alternative to Crocs, Angela?
No, I just wear Archers are pretty good.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they're not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I tend to wear jersey shoes for work, so
Yes.
yeah.
Like a fully grown adult that you are, Angela. Well done.
No,
Yeah.
Can I ask, Angela, have you actually tried them before?
I have, and I've found them slimy, and they just look terrible. They didn't match with any of my clothing. They're definitely a in-the-house kind of shoe.
Thank
Okay.
you, Angela.
Okay.
Common sense has finally prevailed in this space. Thank
There
you.
you go. Well, that's 1 and 4. Okay.
Yeah.
That's 1 and 4.
Yeah. What are you trying to assemble, a Croc army?
I am trying to assemble a Croc army. I just said before, I'm driving the Croc train, need some passengers. 13, 24, 10, and maybe in particular, are you over 30 and really discovered Crocs at a late age? Because I'm telling you, when they first came out, I was so anti-Crocs.
Yes.
And now, I tell you, if I got married again, if me and Cara were just to redo it all, would I be wearing Crocs? Who knows? Who knows? You can't judge in this space because you guys wore thongs at your wedding.
That's true, but it was in Bali, so that's okay.
All right. Are you on board? Or maybe you really, really aggressively hate it. 13, 24, 10.
Also, fancy thongs. They were Havaianas, thanks.
whoa. Must be nice.
Warning, the following segment is for mature audiences only and may contain adult content, graphic language and nudity. Not that you'll see it. If easily offended, well, you're about to find out just how easily.
Your father, he's on the naughty list.
Jody and Hazy's Naughty at 6:40.
It is a chance to get this sort of, interesting sort of risque blue stuff out of our systems before we wholesome it up after 7 o'clock.
And I have seen what's on the agenda for 6:40 this morning, and I'm super excited about it, actually.
Should I just rip in?
Go on.
You want to just rip in?
Yep.
A college student in central China is making headlines after he accidentally started a fire in his dorm. Well, that's not good.
No.
It's crazy, isn't it? While trying to hide his sex doll from his roommate. Yeah, that's right. Who saw that twist and turn coming?
Not me.
Didn't that just pivot in a really, really interesting direction? The student was home alone and had his inflatable girlfriend out when his roommate came home surprisingly. So there's no evidence as to whether he was in the middle of a love session.
Ooh.
If it was pre or post.
Okay.
Who knows? But he did, however, put her out into the hallway to try and destroy the evidence by setting her on fire. And that's where things got really, really exposed. According to reports, the hallway was filled with smoke, leading to the alarm systems going off. So instead of his roommate finding out, everyone in the college found out. You dirty, dirty young man.
I feel sorry for that doll, because that doll has done nothing but fulfill all these young man's desires. And next minute, when he gets embarrassed, he sets her on fire.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
No.
It is not good enough. And that's you and me, Jodes, and probably also producer Molly, we won't stand for it. No, we never have, we never will. What do we want? Less sex dolls on fire. When do we want it? Right now. That's fair. We're taking a stand.
Can I ask a question? And again, at 6:40, I always regret asking these questions of you.
You're absolutely open to every question at 6:40.
If you were to invest in a doll, what would she look like?
Oh boy, you're testing me here.
Would she be blonde or brunette?
She has to be sort of blondish, maybe a little bit honey sort of colour hair.
Yeah.
She's got to be very, very white unless she's wearing some fake tan, and she has to have Scottish roots. So you're testing me?
You've just described your wife.
I know. It feels like a test. What about you if you had to buy a sex doll?
Oh, he'd be around 6'2", blondie, sandy hair, very muscly, very cute, slightly off-centre nose. Just as a result of a lot of hockey hits.
Yes.
Is that sounding like anyone?
Talking extremely, extremely quickly.
Yeah, with beautiful blue eyes.
Hello to your husband. All right, let's put it out there. 13 24 10. Your sex dolls. Let's talk about that. I'm just joking. We're not doing that. But if you have to, give us a call.
Let's talk weird pets. 13 24 10. Let's do it. Have you got a quirky pet? Have you got an unusual pet? Have you got a pet that does something a little bit deranged? We want to hear from you this morning.
Sure. No judgment. It's a judgment-free space in terms of your pets.
Absolutely. Except for I was judging hard on Saturday night because I had a girls' dinner and I was speaking to my girlfriend Tash. And she was telling me how she was driving along and she saw in hard rubbish a bird cage. But like one of those really fancy bird cages. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she stopped with the kids in the car and picked up the bird cage. And, of course, when you have a bird cage, it would be weird if you didn't have a bird. So then they went and purchased a budgie. A budgie, I tell you.
But how much, just quickly, you might know, how much are budgies going for these days?
Well, that's interesting because she was saying some budgies are up to $1,000.
What?
And I think she only spent like $60 on her budgie.
And little golden eggs or something.
Anyway, so then she gives it this one. And I kid you not, you couldn't make this up. She goes, it's a very routine budgie. I said, excuse me very much. If you're going to say that sort of stuff, it's going to end up on the radio. You know that. You are very aware. So apparently this budgie is a stickler for routine.
Spot on.
So it's like a typical, I've just been researching a typical day for a budgie in terms of their routine. It's like, 6 o'clock wake up and then you've got your meal time at 7 and then you change the tray papers. Some misting, they like misting where you spray the little birdies. Socialising, they've got to spend some time out of the cage with their owners and the children.
Sure.
So that's a bit of cage-free time, and then they have a bedtime. And if they don't stick to their routine, they get very, very cranky indeed.
Oh, my God. Are you a budgie?
Are you 13, 24, 10. Are you a budgie?
You budgie. If you veer off this routine, you turn into a bit of an animal.
I wonder if budgies have like little iPhones with reminders as well as to what
100%.
they're supposed to be doing throughout the day.
Yeah, spot on.
Isn't that unique?
Yeah, they're very fickle little creatures, aren't they? If it's budgies, if it's parakeets or the sort of bird family, because what we learnt from Dumb and Dumber, of course, Jodes.
Yes.
That sometimes they've got a bit of a shelf life.
My parakeet Petey, he's dead.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Harry. What happened?
His head fell off. Yeah, he was pretty old.
And once they get to a certain age,
Yeah.
sometimes their heads fall off.
Yes, but then you've just got to get innovative like Harry and Lloyd and you just sticky tape the head.
Hopefully it reattaches. One of the great movies too, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Dumb and Dumber, I don't think gets much better than that.
No.
Growing up on the farm, I had a pet steer. And to shorten the story as quick as possible, so we had a feedlot, and there was about 300 or 400 cattle. And for whatever reason, when the new cattle came in from Queensland, I got quite friendly with a few of them.
Yep.
And one of them in particular was a bit of a Brahman drought master. I could touch him for some reason. And then by the end of the 3-month period before they had to go off the market,
Yeah.
I could ride him. So I was in the pen amongst all the other cattle riding around on this big steer. Dad told me exactly what needed to happen. Look, he's going to the market. This is what's happening. He's not here. It's not a pet, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, went over to Wagga and he was in the pen with all the other cattle and Dad had his back turned talking to someone over the fence and he's come up behind Dad and started nudging him and put his head underneath his armpit like
Yeah,
that, like
yeah.
a dog looking for a scratch on the head.
Yeah.
So Dad's gone, oh,
No.
bloody hell.
Yeah.
And he's ordered a truck,
Yeah.
a full semi-trailer truck, to take this one steer back to the farm. And he lived his days out on the farm.
How that is so sweet.
Yeah, I think he lived till he was about 18 or 19 or something. He would have weighed by the end about 2.5 ton.
What-
He was a monster.
Did you give him a name?
Well, this is where I sort of let myself down. All of the cattle had ear tags,
Yes.
and they were numbered.
Yeah.
And his number was 29.
Yeah.
So his name was 29.
Aww.
So yeah, it's not a cute name.
No.
It's not a nice name.
I just love the friendship that you developed between you and 29.
It was a really nice friendship. And at the same time, in the same feedlot, there were 2 heifers, that's a female cow, who were pregnant at the time before they got into the feedlot. So they had to be taken out as well.
Right.
So then 29 lived out his days with 2 ladies.
Wow.
So he's doing all right. Right now on 13 24 10, talking quirky pets.
So many calls this morning. Let's go to Philip. Good morning, Philip.
Good morning, guys. How you going?
Good. What you got there?
So, growing up, I used to live on a farm out in Uganda, and we had a blue heeler Kelpie cross called Snoopy.
Yep.
And he was like an alarm clock every morning because Dad would let him out. He would have a huge run around the yard, and we lived on a transportable home, so you could actually get underneath it.
Yeah.
Well, he ran underneath it, and without fail, he would hit every single beam on the way through and yelp every time. Then he would run out the other side. Run around the yard again, go back under the house, and hit every single beam on the way back.
That's good.
So
Nice
little
work,
Snoopy's
Snoopy.
got CTE. Oh, no.
Snoopy's had so many concussions, but it was so worth it.
man.
See, that's the little things that your pets do that will stay with you forever as well.
Yes, so true.
It's really nice.
Thanks. Hello, Gracie.
Hi.
Oh, how old are you, Gracie?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Hey, very well, thanks, Gracie. How old are you?
I'm 11.
Okay.
Okay. What sort of pet have you got, Gracie?
We have 5 guinea pigs at home.
Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh. I love guinea pigs.
And whenever we open the fridge door,
Yeah.
they squeak so loud that we can hear them throughout the whole house.
Yeah.
And because their special little greens, which is like their dinner,
Yeah.
is always in the fridge to keep it nice and cool.
There you
So
go.
we don't need any sort of fridge alarm because we've got guinea pigs.
That is super
That's good.
cute.
I've owned a guinea pig as well. The ultimate animal of prey.
Really?
It's scared of everything.
Okay.
Absolutely everything. Good luck, Gracie, with your guinea pigs. Do not take them to Peru. Have fun.
Hang on, wait. When you say the ultimate, are they victims of?
They're victims of everything.
I was gonna say.
I reckon an ant could take out a guinea pig. And let's not talk about what they do to guinea pigs in Peru.
Okay. Let's not. Courtney, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are we?
Swiftly move us on from guinea pig chat in Peru, please. Go for it. What have you got there, Courtney?
I've got a bearded dragon.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you come to own a bearded dragon?
So my ex-partner at the time had a friend who actually breeds them, and I've wanted one for quite a long time. So he got it as a present when he was a little baby, and now he's 2.5 years old, named Spyro.
What's his name?
Spyro.
Spyro. So does Spyro, does he genuinely have a personality?
When he sleeps at night time, he sleeps like lengthways up of his tree.
Right. Hang on,
He's
wait.
got like a little tree, and he's just lengthways up the tree on its side, just sleeps there, doesn't fall off, just holds himself laying there.
There you go, Spyro. Crazy Spyro.
That's what my kids do to me in the middle of the night, just attach themselves like I'm a tree.
Yeah, exactly.
like lengthways.
Like little reptiles.
Yeah, that they are.
Should we take one more?
Yes, please. Good morning, Rod.
Good morning.
What you got there?
A rogue cow.
Oh, yes.
I was born and raised on a dairy farm in Victoria.
Yeah.
Because it was only a small farm, we actually individually named all our cows.
Yeah.
And all our cows. And one name that stuck to mind is called Anita. And she was a mega bitch.
She was in charge. You didn't want to piss off me.
Every time we went out and we come back home, there'd be always one cow that would break out of the paddock, and that was Bloody Anita.
Bloody Anita.
And we used to have a turnip paddock, and we would strip feed the turnips to the cows after milking in the evening.
Yeah.
And we had the electric fence there.
Uh-oh.
We always used to make sure that Anita was the last cow to go in, but she would storm the electric fence and open up the whole paddock to all the rest of the cows. She was a real bitch.
She was a trailblazer. Good on her.
Anita's like, hey, guys, watch this.
Just leading by example.
Oh, I love that for Anita. Thank you, Rod.
Every group needs an Anita, don't
absolutely.
they? Toxic friends. Your toxic friends.
I love that remix from you, Hayesy.
Thank you.
Toxic friends. Well, this is quite topical at the moment because of White Lotus. So I know you guys haven't seen.
No spoilers, please.
I will try not to spoil it for you.
Thank you.
I can say it's set in Thailand. Looks absolutely stunning.
Spoiler.
And apparently, the resort where it's set is now booked out for the next 10 years.
Wow, because of this.
Because of White Lotus. Anyway, that's by the by. Let's talk about toxic friends, because there are 3 women on there who have been childhood friends since they were 9, and there are several scenes depicted when they're all together, and there's this real jealousy bubbling away.
Yuck.
And also passive aggressive sort of compliments and that sort of thing.
I don't like
It's really yucky. Have a listen if you haven't heard it.
You, Jack, you look amazing. You look amazing. But you look incredible. You look the same as you did 20 years ago. Okay. You both do.
Yeah, but you look like you just got pushed out of a birth canal.
Oh, God. Who's your doctor? Shut up. Who's your doctor?
I don't know why you'd want to know, because he's not as good as your doctor.
I haven't done anything.
So much fakery.
Yeah,
Yucky.
so 2 of them are very, very, very attractive, and they always talk each other up. And then the third one, who's potentially a little less attractive, is just standing over in the corner smashing her wines like, yeah, I'll just... you know what, myself over here. But I think the key thing in all of this is when the 2 of them are left together, that's when they start bitching about the other one.
That's not very nice.
No, it's not nice at all, is it?
Yeah, I think everyone's been involved in a situation like that. And sometimes you need to maybe stop yourself, but then other times you get to a certain age where you're like, enough with the toxicity.
Enough. Thank you very much. I feel like, and this is my very big red flag, if I get up and walk away from a table or a group of friends and my mind goes to, I wonder what they're going to say about me when I walk away, that's when it's got to be done.
So 9 times out of 10, they are talking smack about you behind your back if you're feeling like that.
Which friends are you talking about? Which ones?
Well,
Do you want to name names?
I'd
when
say
you got
more
up to
so.
go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Girls.
Oh my God.
And then you came
Shouldn't
back
have
in
gone.
really quick. She went, actually, I'm not going to go. It's because you thought Hayesy and I were going to lay into you. And we did, and we were.
Oh, thank you so much.
Because we're the pretty ones.
What?
Jody's in the corner. Hello, I'm over here. Why don't I just go, you know what?
Well, do you know what? You're the 2 people on this planet that I know that if I walked away, you would defend me in any situation with anyone. And that's the sort of comfort you should have in your friendship.
I agree.
If you don't have that, then I don't think it's worth being friends with
Preach,
someone.
sister.
Have you ever had to cut someone off, Tiff Warren?
Even if I had to, I wouldn't because I'm a coward.
So if you had to end something, you just would stop contact.
I would ring my dad and tell him, and he would say, Tiff, flush them. And I'd say, I can't flush them. But they would have to, I wouldn't flush them, but I've told Dad, and then you're done.
Right.
So from there on out, you have to know with the thoughts that Alan hates you.
Okay.
Alan doesn't like you anymore.
Yeah, right.
You might not know it from me, but my dad will never forget.
And that's spiritual.
And that's beautiful.
Can you remember when Justin Bieber sang "My Mama Don't Like You" and she likes everyone?
Yeah, same
Yeah,
thing.
that hit different,
And
didn't
my
it?
mum does like everyone.
Yeah.
But
That's like the Allen test, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. What about you, Andrew Hayes? Have you had to cut off a girlfriend?
No, I feel like in the past that I'm a bit of a people pleaser, and I would try and fix everything because the thought of, I think when you're young, the thought of people not liking you doesn't sit well.
Yep.
I'm 39 now.
Yeah.
I don't give a you know what.
Yeah.
So if all the people in my life that I'm talking to, they're the people that I value. The people that I'm not talking to, I probably don't value them. In saying that as well, though, blokes are very different. I've got friends who I haven't spoken to for years, which I know that we could just reconnect just like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So blokes are very, very different creatures in this space.
Yeah, and they're the best friends ever, aren't they? But I think the thing is, the old friends you want to cling on to a little bit more because they know you so well.
Yep.
And that can often be to your detriment. Just because you've been friends with someone for a long time, it doesn't make it a healthy relationship.
Well, they know all your nasty secrets.
Correct. Yes.
Those real incriminating secrets.
Okay. Well, what did you think I got? What do you think I got up to in Tassie, mate? What do you reckon?
We know. We know, Jodes.
Why did you move so much? Time now, Jodes, to chat to someone who is one of the all-time greats. He will walk into the Hall of Fame when he's eligible, and that is Tom Hawkins. And look, you know me, I'm a footy fan.
Footy nerd.
Footy nerd. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're a footy fan, then you love this man, even if you really, really have watched the Cats destroy your team over the years.
Yes. Can we say good morning to Tom? Are you there, Tom?
I'm here, guys.
Oh,
Thank you for the nice words.
Oh, that's okay. Now, Tom, as a cyclone hurtles towards the Gabba for the opening round of the AFL season, it got us thinking about you playing down at Geelong, and there must have been times when you questioned your commitment to the club and for the decision to actually live in Geelong, because it would have been bloody freezing down there and it would have pelted down. How did you feel running out into the ground on days like that?
Yeah, look, it was something, those sort of days I won't miss when I'm sitting by the fire if I'm not with Fox Footy, sitting by the fire and watching the Cats play. But look, it's one of the great parts of and unique parts of our game is that we play during the winter. We don't necessarily see weather events that we're seeing up in Brisbane this weekend or overseas where it snows at other venues and other games. So
yeah.
We have played in some pretty awful conditions, but you know what? As a player, you prepare yourself, and you don't necessarily feel the cold, unless it is a combination of wind, rain, and a freezing cold day, which we've had a few of those in Geelong.
Hey, Tom, life now outside of footy, of course. You have joined the Fox Footy commentary team. We're looking forward to what you've got to say because you are very, very broadly loved. But how is it transitioning to retirement? Have you done it with ease?
Dad to 3 girls as well.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm loving the transition. There's no regrets about my decision not to play on for this season. I just physically couldn't. I think mentally I could absolutely, but physically I think the game got to a point where it was just a little bit past me, and I got an injury halfway through the year, which meant that I wasn't able to come back and play at AFL level. So I'm really comfortable with the decision. There's lots on. I've got to fit my family, which is a priority this year. Certainly while I'm changing and transitioning out of careers, it's a wonderful time to be able to spend with them. So been on a couple of holidays and really, really enjoying it.
Just before we let you go, there is one question I want to ask you. How would the players be feeling in a situation where Andrew Dillon is saying maybe we'll wait and see versus I think Brisbane has already come out and said we'll call it off now? Of course, we're talking about Cyclone Alfred potentially hitting the Gabba on Thursday night. If you were playing, what would you want to know? Would you want to call it off right now or would you be happy to wait around?
Look, I think first and foremost, they'll want to know as soon as they have the information at the AFL level in terms of whether the game's going ahead, whether it's going to be postponed for a couple of days, or whether in fact that they just reschedule it completely. The only thing I will say is that coming off the back of COVID, players are so adaptable for change in scheduling. I don't think that was the case once upon a time, but I think that players are happy enough to move and be agile as decisions are made. So the one positive out of the COVID era of football is that will transfer into something like this that we're seeing, which unfortunately, I think it's poised to go one way or the other. My gut feel is that the game may change, but I think that we'll get some more clarity on that today, because obviously Geelong will travel up there tomorrow. But yeah, who knows? It's such a disappointing event that may have to be changed as the season opener of 2025.
Well, Tom, you mentioned school pickup there. I'm sure there's a few school mums that would be more than happy to see you picking up the kids. But thank you so much for joining us this morning. We can't wait to see you on Fox Footy.
Thank you, guys. Not in my current state, but I'm loving being able to do it. Thanks, guys, for having me.
Thanks,
awesome.
Tom.